Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here at weatherweb.net. Thanks again for watching. This is your look ahead issued on Monday the 24th of November. And more about hints of cooler weather as we get into the early parts of December in just a moment. This is the temperature trace for London for the next 15 days, and this is from the GFS Ensemble. Just look how mild it gets into this weekend, but then look what happens next week. The sharp fall off in temperature. We're not looking at anything drastic, and we've made this point all the way through that it didn't look as if we were really going to be hitting hard winter. It just looked as if it was going to go colder early December, and you'll know we've been talking about this since the beginning of November, and hey presto, that looks as if what's going to happen. Let's just get back to this week first of all, then we'll go into more depth about what the medium and longer ranges are doing. This is today, got a ridge of high pressure centred across the Midlands during the course of this afternoon. Looks like it brings us another cold one tonight with quite a widespread frost. Now for Tuesday, quite a cloudy day, bits and pieces of rain around, can be feeling pretty chilly as well. One of those murky, dark November days, you know the sort that I mean, and more persistent rain always, just kind of spreading in from the south, particularly across southern England where it's going to be pretty yuck tomorrow afternoon. It's one of those where your headlights are going to need to be on from 3 o'clock, you know the sort I mean. Band of cloud and some outbreaks of rain, southern Scotland, northern parts of Ireland too, but it's largely dry in between, and it should be dry as well for the far north of Scotland. Into Wednesday, more fronts around on Wednesday. Again, a dark day for all, I think. Outbreaks of rain really across much of England and Wales and the east and the south of Scotland. Best of the weather out towards western parts of Scotland. I should say, if I didn't, watch out for frost and fog tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning. I think it's going to be particularly the Midlands and southern parts of England where it will be foggy. So if you're travelling first thing, just be aware of that. Thursday, got more of a milder south to southwesterly flow coming in. Still lots of cloud around, I think. Still bits and pieces of drizzle, but milder for all. Friday on the southeasterly, I know many towns are having their Christmas switch on. Their light switch on Friday. I know we are here in Womben, and it looks as if it is going to be quite a mild one for that, but should be dry. Bits and pieces of rain around though out towards the west. And then for Saturday, a mild one again. Warm front passes across Scotland into northern England. Bits and pieces of drizzle through here, particularly in the west. More eastern areas should be better though. I think fog and mist a problem again for England and Wales for you early travellers, and it might well just stay murky into the afternoon on Saturday, but there will be some bright spells coming through across England and Wales. And then Sunday stays fairly cloudy across Scotland, but better down towards the south. Quite misty and murky as well down here, some fog patches early in the morning. Now, before we get on, quick question for you. Would a 7-day forecast be useful for you on WeatherWeb every day? You know that we do our fast forecast. What about a 7-day forecast? Just a straightforward box standard forecast. So not the technical stuff that I do here on the look ahead, but just a straightforward forecast. Try and keep it quite short, so below 3 minutes. Let me know, get in touch. Use the contact form at the top of the page here to let me know what you think of that idea. Okay, so moving on now. This is where the models are still in some disagreement as to what happens with cooler weather arriving next week. It looks as if temperatures will be taking a dip. We saw that, didn't we, from that chart a little bit early on. And as I say, models are struggling to get to grips with it. That's how the GFS Ensemble sees it. You know what? This upper pattern looks reasonable. I was telling my students about this actually last week. Those are the MSc students on the Applied Meteorology and Climatology course at the University of Birmingham, and talking about the idea of this split jet, kind of doing that and leaving us with this kind of hole in the middle there where not a lot goes on. You see it's got the high centred out towards the east here. This is the chart for the 4th of December. So this is for Thursday, the 4th of December. And we've got the the ECMWF Ensemble looking like that. We've got the GFS Ensemble looking like that. Look, still got this high in. Got the read through here as well. And it kind of has a split jet. One section up there, one section going south. So there is some agreement there between those two. The GEM, the Canadian, tries to make much more of that area of low pressure across Europe, and the ECM operational tries to build the ridge far more towards the north, brings in these little lows here, splits off the jet like so. And I think out of all of these models, that's probably the one that I'd have to give a tick for, because I think that one's probably nearer the mark. Now, look at your source region for this air that comes in across the UK. It's the Med, it comes up across Europe, which is going to be colder, but it's much modified as it comes across Europe. The air going across Scotland actually originates here across central parts of Europe, which is going to become much cooler over the next few days. So actually what we could find is that probably we're looking at temperatures of, let's say, 6s and perhaps 7s in the south, maybe a little bit milder than that, perhaps even an 8. But across Scotland, Northern England, the Midlands, eastern parts of England, Ireland, we could be looking at temperatures of 3 or 4 degrees. Best of the sunshine always in the west, cloudy skies toward the east. So you see, it's cold, but it's by no means drastic, is it? And I think that's where we're going to go with this on this easterly flow. So get set for colder temperatures, but please don't run away with the idea that it's going to be an absolutely freezing one. CFS looks like this, and the CFS does cause some confusion really, because this is the week 1 forecast, and the week 1 quite correctly, I think, showing, look, the building heights off towards the east, there's the trough off towards the west, there's our flow coming in from southeasterly. That's okay, we can kind of believe that. Week 2, 1st of December to the 7th of December, has, look, the building high coming in. So it's got the ridge here, and it kind of links through to the ridge across the Atlantic, keeps the trough out here. So it kind of does that sort of flow. This is the split and the jet down here, and that looks okay. It's causing much confusion with temperatures though, because again you're on that east to east southeasterly, so it leans towards cool but not towards very cold. Week 3 looking like this, so the 8th to the 14th. What the CFS trying to do is tries to go into more of a northwesterly across the country, tries to bring in the settled conditions. Now this could be snow, okay, probably a snow showers across Scotland, Northern Ireland, parts of northwest England as well, but down towards the south probably staying dry. So cold, the risk of some snow showers going into middle part of December across the north of the country. And then for 15th to the 21st, notice how close this is getting to Christmas Day itself, it tries to build the high back in. And the pattern on this would probably be to bring in that northwesterly to have higher than normal heights down towards the south of the country. It tries to build that ridge back in. That looks reasonable. I think we could go into this frosty spell mid-month, but probably what will happen, I think, is that this feature here, let me just get rid of that, that feature there pushes, there we go, pushes this ridge south. I mean, that's not actually what it's doing, but effectively imagine it from looking at this chart. So it pushes the ridge further south. So I think what we're going to line up with for Christmas is the idea of more of a westerly, more unsettled, perhaps, probably milder but not warm. Probably 8s and 9s across southern England, but perhaps not 9. Let's go for an 8 across southern England. 3s and 4s across Scotland, probably fairly unsettled as well for that final section of the month. It's going to be interesting to see how we eventually get there. I'll tell you more about the MJO tomorrow, because that's coming up with some interesting solutions as well. That's how it looks at the moment, and what it's shown us is really does speed through phase 3, look, 4, 5, getting into 6. One of the runs here up to Christmas Eve actually gets us back into phase 8. So it's saying actually there's some changeable conditions coming through. What it doesn't say is desperately cold just at the moment, but we'll take a closer look at the MJO tomorrow. So hopefully that has been useful for you. Don't forget you can subscribe to us on YouTube to get notifications of all the latest updates, and also come back and watch us regularly at WeatherWeb. We've got some changes going on with WeatherWeb coming up in the near future, which we'll tell you more about, but I hope you're all going to like them. Very exciting changes actually. But for now, whatever you're doing, thanks again for watching weatherweb.net. Please do tell your friends about us and what we're doing here. Yeah, I'll leave you with that for now. Thanks for watching, and keep the sun shining.